Hey guys, I'm Julian. In this video, we're gonna learn how to say who is this person in Korean. In the previous video, we learned how to say what is this. This time we're learning about asking who this person is, what and who. In Korean, who is this person is 이분이 누구세요? 이분이 누구세요? 이분 is this person. 누구 is who. 세요 is. There can be variations of 이분이 depending on the subject particles such as 이분, 이분은, etc. So you can also say 이분 누구세요? Or 이분은 누구세요? Which would be who is this person? Or and who is this person? It is a subtle difference of nuance. You might be wondering why we didn't use 예요 for the ending, like 이분이 누구예요? That's because we used 분 for indicating the person. 이 is this and 분 is a formal way of indicating the person. It is something like this gentleman or this lady. When you don't refer to that person in a formal way, you might use 사람 instead of 분. 사람 means person. So it would be 이 사람이 누구예요? 이 사람이 누구예요? But obviously, you aren't talking about a stranger. So especially when that person is in front of you, you might want to use 이분 instead of 이 사람. And don't forget to end the sentence with 세요 instead of 예요. 이분이 누구세요? And 이 사람이 누구예요? In the case of 이 사람이 누구예요? There can be also variations of subject particles such as 이 사람 or 이 사람은. So you can also say 이 사람 누구예요? Or 이 사람은 누구예요? Which would be who is this person? Or and who is this person? Okay? Who is that person is similar to who is this person. You only need to change this to that, right? So in Korean, who is that person is 저분이 누구세요? 저분이 누구세요? In the same manner, there can be variations of 저분이 depending on the subject particles such as 저분, 저분은, etc. So you can also say 저분 누구세요? Or 저분은 누구세요? 저분은 누구세요? Which would be who is that person? Or and who is that person? It is also possible to say who is this without person. In Korean, it would be 이건 누구예요? But it is not very often used because when you omit the word person in Korean, people feel that they are treated like things, not humans. You can use 이건 누구예요? In a situation such as when you two are looking at a photo and there is a random person neither of you knows, then you could say 이건 누구예요? Okay? Let's learn some words to ask and answer who this person is. 가족, 가족. 남편, 남편. 아내, 아내. 나, 나. 아들, 아들. 딸, 딸. 막내, 막내. 부모, 부모, 친척, 친척, 친구, 친구, 저희, 저희, 우리, 우리, 제, 네, 네, 저, 아버님, 아버님, 어머님, 어머님. Now, let's start asking and answering who this person is. 똑똑, 누구세요? 저예요. 안녕하세요. 네, 안녕하세요. 이분은 누구세요? 이분은 제 친척이에요. 저분은 누구세요? 저분은 제 아버지세요. 이분이 어머님이세요? 네, 제 어머니예요. 이분이 가족이에요? 아니요, 이분은 저희 가족이 아니에요. 이 사람은 제 친구예요. 저분이 아드님이세요? 네, 제 아들이에요. 이분이 따님이세요? 아니요, 제 딸이 아니에요. 제 막내 동생이에요. 저분은 누구세요? 저분은 정현 씨예요. 똑똑 is knock knock in Korean. 누구세요 is who is it? Who is it? When you're not mentioning this person or that person, but just 누구세요? 누구세요? It is asking who it is over there. This expression can be used when someone rings the bell in front of the door or you're asking who that person is in phone call. In phone call, for example, the conversation could be like, 여보세요? And then, 누구세요? If the other person doesn't clarify who they are. Okay? 저 is a formal form of 나. I. So, 저예요 is a formal form of 나야. It would be it's me. So it is like the stranger rings the bell and the other person asks, who is it? And the stranger says, it's me. Okay? 네 is yes or yeah, yes. And you can answer the question like, 이 사람은 제 남편이에요. Which would be, this person is my husband. 이 사람은 is this person. 제 남편 is my husband. 이에요 is. 제 is a formal form of 내, which is my. 저희 is a formal form of 우리, which is our. Traditionally, Koreans have used 저희 or 우리 more often than 제 or 내 to introduce their family, which means Koreans more often use our than my. It is gonna be like 저희 가족, 저희 어머니, 우리 아빠, etc. It is because the Korean society is a collective society and put more emphasis on we than I. But in the recent years, the usage of 제 or 내, which will be my, has increased because the society has changed from collectivism to individualism. So that's a good thing to note, and don't be confused when other Koreans use 저희 가족, 저희 어머니, 우리 아빠. Okay? You might have noticed when we introduce our friends, we said 이 사람은 제 친구예요. Instead of 이분은 제 친구예요. It is because we don't need to mention our friends in a formal form. That's why we didn't honor our friends like 이분은, but we casually used 이 사람은. Okay? And instead of asking, who is this person? You can ask, is this person your daughter? In Korean, it is 이분이 따님이세요? You simply need to replace 누구 to the name of the object and end the sentence with a proper form depending on the existence of the last character's final consonant. But keep in mind that you have to refer to that person's son or daughter in a special form. Son is 아들 and daughter is 딸. But when you refer to someone else's son or daughter, and if you were formally speaking to that person, you refer to that person's son or daughter in a formal form. And those are 아드님 for 아들, 따님 for 딸. So if you were formally speaking to a person and you want to refer to that person's son, you shouldn't say 이분이 아들이세요? The correct way to say is 이분이 아드님이세요? In the case of a daughter, it would be 이분이 따님이세요? 이분이 따님이세요? Another good thing to note is that when you refer to your friend's parents or someone else's parents, you use 아버님, 아버님, or 어머님, 어머님, instead of 아버지, 아버지, or 어머니, 어머니. 아버님 and 어머님 are more formal forms of 아버지 and 어머니. You use more formal words to indicate them because they are not your parents but someone else's parents. Does it make sense? When you say this in an informal form, you can say 이 사람 누구야? 저 사람 누구야? 얘는 누구야? 쟤는 누구야? 얘는 내 친구야. 쟤는 내 아들이야. So you need to replace 누구세요 to 누구야. The sentence ends differently, okay? 얘, 이, 쟤, 얘, 이, 쟤 are informal form of this person and that person. Lastly, we need to talk about how to use she. She. If you refer to someone or directly call a random person, you already know their name. You can call them by putting she at the end of their name. So it is like 정현 씨, 마이클 씨, 범수 씨, 브라운 씨. It would be Mr. Brown, Mrs. Smith, Miss Smith. Technically, she can be used in any official situations or formal circumstances, but many Koreans consider she to be not too formal. So some Koreans may feel bad if a person younger than them call them by using she. She. This is not the problem of the Korean language, but the Korean society. So what would you call them? Koreans often have a difficult time finding a right title for superiors instead of she. So they call the superior like 선배님, 사장님, 대표님, etc. 사장 is a head of a company and 대표 is a head of any organization. 선배 can be used for any superiors. If you are a fan of Korean variety shows, you might have seen that some younger celebrities refer to celebrities older than them as 선배님. 선배님. Actually, they can call them using 씨, such as 정현 씨, 범수 씨. But they don't want to be rude to the superior, so they choose to call them 선배님. Still, because it is an official situation and there are lots of viewers, there's no problem at all to call their name using 씨. Complicating, right? How to call the other person using a proper form is always complicating in Korea because of hierarchies. This is something I don't like about Korea, but if you call them in a proper form, it will definitely help you to adjust to the Korean society. Maybe they'll understand you if you obviously look like a foreigner, but it's best to ask them how you should call them, what title you should use to call them if you don't know. Then they will tell you the title they want. Great! Now you can ask and answer, who is this person? This is someone in Korean. If you like this video, please like this video. And if you want to learn more Korean from me, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification. In the comment section below, ask and answer who is this person and who is that person in Korean. And I'll check it out. Stay tuned.